have that facility, and we'll get started any second. So before you start doing your exercise, the usual health and safety matters, we're obviously not able to see you. So you need to exercise your great judgment and common sense about your space and whether you need to have a chair for support or to sit down on at any point, and making sure that you've not got animals running around through the room, and that you do the movements in a way that feels comfortable for you. And if you feel uncomfortable or uneasy about doing any of them, please just stop and take a rest. So we're going to start this evening, it's getting cold again in this wintry climate, with a little bit of rubbing of the hands. We can warm up our hands a little more efficiently by using the edge of the little finger and rubbing it between particularly the index finger and the long one next to it. Like you're making fire in your hand, rubbing, like we do with rubbing sticks together, or at least our predecessors used to many years ago. And the same on the other side. And you'll notice the friction if it's a nice firm contact. Be careful if you're wearing rings, obviously. It should be warming up the hands. And then rubbing the hands. And then we'll do the backs of the hands. And the knuckles. So making a lot of physical contact. Feeling it through the hand that you're rubbing, as well as the hand you're rubbing with. So taking the mind into the body, even as we do these preliminary warm-ups to stimulate the body and the chi. And then give the arms a shake. Rub the palms again. And we'll start with the head. So we're going to do a little bit of tapping onto the head. We're rippling our fingers as though you're playing the piano, that kind of action. And then coming down onto the ears and onto the cheekbones and round onto the base of the skull and the neck and under the chin, onto the neck. And now we're going to rub the hands again, get them nice and warm. And we're going to pat ourselves on the shoulders, so supporting one arm to help you reach easily without strain, and slapping onto the shoulder area. It's going to be relatively vigorous. Keep the wrist loose and floppy. Both armpits stay open. Try different angles of the wrist. And then the same the other side. And then passing onto the chest, particularly around the collarbone area and just below. Come down the inside of the arm and up the outside. And one more. Wrist loose. And we'll do the same the other side. Down the inside of the arm. Keep the elbows slightly bent, up the outside. And one more. And then rubbing the hands again. And we'll do the planks. Try to keep the shoulder top down. Here, when you lift your arm, you want to try and drop your shoulder blade down rather than lifting the arm like that. And the same the other side. And then rubbing the hands again. And we're going to lightly, with hollow fists, very gently drum onto the kidney area. Or thereabouts, doesn't matter if you can't reach that far up. And then rubbing the kidneys, you're going to go down towards your bottom, down the spine, out to the sides and up. So little circles in that general area. And as you're doing so, start to let the hips relax a little more. And we're going to turn over our hands and sacrum, back of the pelvis, onto the buttocks. It's going to be quite a vigorous action. We're going to come around to the sides of the hips, and down the outside of the legs, across the top of the feet, and up the inside of the legs, a little more gently. And one more time. And then across the inguinal fold area. And then we're going to pat onto the belly. We're going to do it in the way where you come down on your left, across and up on your right. So. And then same direction, down on your left, across, up on your right. And then let the hands come to rest on the lower belly. Just take a moment or two to settle your mind and your body and feel your hands. Feel your hands, first of all, one through the other. Back of one hand feels the hand on top of it. The hand on top feels the hand below it. Hands feel the surface of your body, your clothes. Movement of your belly as you breathe. And now feel your hands through your belly. Feel their warmth, their coolness, their aliveness. Starting to feel from our center of gravity, our place where our gut feels. Place where our instinctive intelligence and our awareness very much centered within the body. Letting the mind slow down, feeling your breathing. Now feeling down to the soles of the feet. Feel your points of contact with the ground. And especially feeling for the pad of the big toe, big padded joint area at the base of the big toe, and the pad of the foot on the little toe side. All places that should be in contact with the ground very clearly. Now feeling your heel. Adjusting your stance so it's comfortable. Your feet about hip to shoulder width apart. And as parallel as they comfortably go. While letting the knees very slightly bend so that there is a tiny little bit of bounce and springiness in the joints. The knees are not locked and not too bent either. So it's a comfortable sitting into your legs. You should already be feeling a little more connected to the ground, a little more rooted, calmer in body and in mind. We're going to bring the arms to the side, releasing any tension in the shoulders. Letting the arms hang down. Lengthening through to the tips of the fingers. Just give the fingers a little stretch and then release. Down a little stretch. Imagine that you could extend through the arms, all the way from the armpits down through the fingers and the thumbs. As though you could, if you imagined each of your fingers and thumbs like a little torch, could shine a light down into the ground. Allow the head to feel light, like a helium balloon gently lifting up. Now we're ready to begin our turn the hands and lift them, breathing in. Not going to lift them too high to start with. Sit into your legs, push down. Release the fingers down. Breathe in as the arms rise and out as they lower. This Qigong set, we breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice and softly. Feeling for a calm, steady movement, trying to wake the body up. I want you to feel it as though you're pushing into the ground with your feet. Opening the backs of the knees, opening a little. And the arms are coming up as you breathe. As fall into your belly and into your chest. Quality that the arms are supported as though they're floating up on water. Full movement has quite a watery, wave-like rising and sinking. You can feel that coming through the whole body. You're a piece of seaweed anchored to a rock. The current of water just flowed past. The base stays anchored. The rest of the body moves as one. Deepen our breath and start to bring our arms up a little higher. We're going to form a little frame. The arms are going to turn away and we're going to look through the space that we've created by setting our thumbs towards each other, round about eye level. The wrists soft on the way up. Arm turn away. Do that little frame and pressing down, releasing down. Feel that. Put a little bit more movement into the legs, making sure that your knees stay comfortable and don't come forward your toes. Gaze going through that little frame between the hands, nice and soft. breath now nice and deep. Next time the arms rise, come up to shoulder height and then open towards the side. This is still an exhale. Or an inhale, so I got it the wrong way around. This is an inhale coming up, and it's still an inhale as it opens. Exhale as we come in and expanding through the chest, starting to take a little more air in. Now this movement is also expanding towards the YoTube bubble around you, so the natural energy field we all have around us, all living beings have, the quality of expanding it, but beyond the fingertips. And the next time the arms rise, come up. You're going to take your weight onto your right leg and turn. Inhale as you turn and look to your left. Exhale, go the other way. This movement has a pretty full weight shift. So one of the main errors to start with is that people hover around the middle. Clear shift. A bit more stretch on the side of the body with the hand uppermost. You want to keep the arm that is coming down up at shoulder height if you can. Now, if that is in any way a strain, keep the movement much lower. Now we're going to allow the gaze to follow the arc of the fingers. It's called painting a ring. Weight back to center, opening both arms. We're going to sit into the legs. Wrists are going to cross, and we're going to inhale all the way up. Pushing apart the clouds, or separating the clouds. Quality of opening up the heavens out to the sides and releasing, and as though we're scooping something from deep in the earth. Allowing the energy of the heavens be enhanced as we come down, gathering chi from the earth, enhancing its natural flow through our body, releasing into the heavens, down into the and time as the arms come down, you bring them towards each other, palm facing palm. So you're still sitting into your legs. Lower your right arm, turning your waist. Arm rises and then pushes forward. So the arm that is releasing wants to have a quality of it as though it is on a roller coaster. Down under gravity and then up, over and down under gravity forward. This is the hardest of the moves to coordinate. So don't worry if it's new to you and you're finding it a little bit tricky. It doesn't matter if you're using a different arm from me. The idea with this movement is that the knees and feet stay facing forward. Hips pretty much stay facing forward. And we're separating the waist. The internal organs, a good massage. The body starts to warm up and you get more familiar with these moves over time. You find that your shoulder blade drops more easily as the arm rises in any movement. This one, the arm can come up quite high. One more of these. And as this arm comes down and forward, and the lower both arms, sitting into the legs, pushing down and behind you. Release through the forearms, lengthening through the arms, up and down. Rowing the boat in the middle of a still lake. Take your imagination on a little rowing trip. Your favourite lake. Anywhere in the world. Just imagine yourself on a boat on a quiet day. Breathing nice fresh air. And this time as the arms come down, hands come to your side, and then you are going to lift your right arm, turning and taking your waist a little to your left. And with your right. Begin to allow the heels to lift off the ground. could be a big heel lift. Imagine that you're lifting a ball of cloud into the sky, releasing it. Let the arm at the side have that quality of extending downwards towards the ground. Your balance feels a little bit wobbly. You can also have the hand at the side pressing down, so palm down, though you're pressing onto a tabletop. And that will help to secure your balance downwards. Just a little. Or you can hold on to it. And when you're coming back to center, we're now going to turn to your left. And we're going to gaze at an imaginary moon. Pulling the energy of that moon down into the earth, into a reflection in a pond, and pulling it down the other side. Throughout this movement, imagine you've got a balloon between your thighs so that your knees stay facing forward, in line with your feet, and don't collapse in. As with all the moves, the shoulder blades drop as the arms rise. And with this one, our eyes nice and soft, down at the imagined reflection and then up to the sky. Big rising and sinking in this movement. If your legs feel warmed up, able to do so. Sit more deeply into the legs and then rise up so the legs straighten as we lift our arms towards the moon. And then coming back to center with the palms facing upwards. Turn to your left and turn to your right and withdraw. Now with this movement there is no weight shift. You're going to be separating the waist. Hips stay facing forwards. Again, massaging through the belly, around the kidneys. Shoulder blades massaging the back of the rib cage, behind the heart and the lungs. Shoulder blade comes away from the spine on the side that is pushing and then towards the spine. On the side that is withdrawn. of the wrist. Have a lovely flowing feeling. Feel as though it's being pulled back by the waist. As your waist starts to turn and you release the wrist, that smooth turntable is the waist area. Pull your hand back. You're naturally going to want to turn palm up. And this next time when you're pushing to your right, and don't worry if you want to mirror me and do it just as you're seeing me, that's absolutely fine. Keep the upper hand with its index finger side round about eye level, and the lower hand is just above your hips, around about hip height, and it's going to follow across as you turn. Again, no weight shift, just the waist turn. Soft eyes. And with this one, we exhale as we turn to our right, and we inhale as we turn to our left. Don't worry if you get your lefts and rights in a muddle, it's not gonna cause a problem. Carry on breathing nice and steadily. Again, with this one, feel for that quality of the waist being your lovely smooth turntable that is rotating and carrying the arms. And when the arms are ready to change, we're going to open both of them to the sides. Take your weight into your right leg. Draw the left knee forward. Place its heel, taking a little half step, keeping your hip to shoulder width. And then inclining forward, making sure that as you bring your weight forward, you're not putting strain on your knee. Lifting as you sit back. Opening, scooping water from the sea and looking at the sky. Imagine yourself as a child again, playing joyfully with the water and the sea. Breathing in, lovely fresh air. Breathing out, imagining the little droplets of water cascading back down into the sea. Drive the weight, lift the arms. If your balance is feeling good, you can incline back a little as you sit into the back leg. And this really opens the front of the body. Take your time, no rush. Again, expanding our chi field, our energy field around us. And also releasing both up and down. Enhancing the chi flow that is happening very naturally. And this time, as the arms are coming down, flow into the next movement, which is called pushing the waves. And let the wave release forwards. And then as though we're pulling back and pushing another wave forwards. So there's an undulating wave that flows through the body, through the movement. Inhaling as we pull back. Exhaling as we push the wave forward. Then you can incline back a little. When you sit into your back leg, dipping into the center of the wave and rising at the back and the front, but making sure, like that piece of seaweed we were talking about earlier, you feel anchored to the ground. So there is no quality of being washed away by your own wave. And then this time, as you come forward, when the arms rise, they're going to open towards the side. Breathing in as the arms open, out as they come towards each other. Wild dove unfurls its wings and prepares to fly, imagining your wings rooted in your shoulder blades. Shoulder blades move towards the spine as the wings open, away from the spine as they come towards each other. And you can incline back a little into the back leg if you feel stable. Enjoying the expansion. And then we're going to form fists and bring our feet back to parallel. Sitting into the legs, set your left fist and punch forward. Release and withdraw. So with this one, there is no hip or waist turn. Punch comes directly forward on an exhale on each side in turn. Inhaling as you withdraw. To the blade, carrying the arm forward and withdrawing it. Coming away from the spine as you punch, withdrawing towards the spine and away from the spine. Sitting into your legs still. So the knees are slightly bent. And then bringing both palms forward as fists, turning them palm up, releasing down into the earth, and then the arms rising straight up into wild goose flies. In as the arms rise, out as they lower. The heels lifting off the ground. Pretty much as the hands come up to shoulder height. Heels can peel off the ground and return back down again. The palms face the outside of the legs. And just a few more. Imagine somewhere you can fly to for a nice holiday. Big long wings up above the clouds and sunshine. And the next time that the arms come down, I'm going to take both arms across to your right and then taking them to your left, changing the weight the other way and turning like a wheel. Arms facing away from you as though they're polishing around the edge of the wheel. In as your arms rise, out as they come down. Change direction. And the next time the arms come down, you keep your weight on your right leg. Draw forward the other knee. And your right arm. I'm going to bounce an imaginary ball. To feel the bounce from your lower belly. There's a springiness in the legs, particularly at the inguinal fold at the top of the thigh where it joins the hips, pelvis. Foot that we've lifted is going to go down flat on the ground. And take your mind into your belly, into the lower belly where we rested our hands at the very beginning of the session. And think about the little bouncing of the ball being started in that area, contained in that area, and then manifesting out through the limbs in some way. So the main bouncing of the ball is in your lower belly. Those of you who know a little more about chi work and chi storing, what's actually going on in this movement? You don't need to feel it or understand about it for it to be happening. And then coming back to neutral, the final movement, sitting into the legs, gathering as though you're pulling up from the earth. Fingers point towards each other. Pressing down through the palms, let your thumbs lead down. Pulling up, breathing in. Pressing down with the palms, breathing out. So this is harmonizing the chi flow around your body now. Having a balance between up and down. And the next time your arms come down, you're going to keep your legs straight and then rub the palms together. And then rub the kidneys. And then patting down the outside of the legs. Standing back up again and feeling for just a moment or two changes in your body since you stood before you started moving. Okay, well done everybody. Well done. Thank you very much for joining us. Apologies, the camera angle seemed to be cutting off some of my movements when I went up there. But you didn't really notice until you started. So hope to see you all again soon, and we'll catch up with any messages that anyone's sending, and look forward to seeing you in Zoom sessions.